I love a good dark folktale. Sometimes they were the easiest way to tackle difficult topics and still tell life truths. And this one is no exception. Prepare yourselves, my friends. Some of this story may be difficult to bear. In this Cajun tale of a young boy who must use his wits to survive. This is Catafo and the Devil. Catafo lived with his two brothers and his mama and papa in the ramshackle cabin on the edge of the woods. They were so poor they could barely feed themselves, and every day was a struggle. Now that kind of hunger and worry can do ugly things to people. So one night after the boys were asleep, Mama said to Papa,
"We can't keep feeding these boys. We gotta get rid of them."
Papa shook his head.
I ain't got it in me to kill them.
Just take them deep into the woods tomorrow and leave them there. Let God decide.
But what neither parent realized was that Catafo was awake, and he heard every word. That same night, after his parents were asleep, he slipped out of bed, crept across the room, and filled his pockets with flour. The next morning, Papa woke the boys.
Come on now, let's go for a walk.
As they walked, Catafo quietly sprinkled the flour behind them, marking their path. They walked until Papa was sure they could never find their way back. Then he stopped and said,
You bows way higher and I'll be back soon.
He never came back. As the lights faded, the younger boys started to cry, but Catafo comforted them, telling them about the trail he had left for them. And sure enough, they were able to follow the flower trail all the way back home to their shocked parents. But did their parents give up? No. They were determined to get rid of the boys. So again, Mama told Papa,
Take them deeper in this time and make sure they stay lost or don't bother coming back.
And again, Catafo heard everything. And again, he snuck out of bed to fill his pockets. But this time, they were out of flour. So he took some cornmeal instead. The next day, Papa took them even further than before. So deep, the trees blocked out the sky. And just like before, he left them. Again, the boys began to cry. But Catafo smiled confidently, telling them again that he had left a trail. Everything just like before, right? Not quite. Because before long, the trail suddenly ended, and Catafo realized that his cornmeal had been eaten up by the birds. This time, the boys were truly lost. But here is where Catafo showed his ability to not give up. He encouraged his brothers to walk, and so they walked and walked until they could barely see themselves in the dark. And just as his brothers began to panic, they saw lights ahead, and the trees opened up to a small house sitting alone in a clearing. Now, if there's anything folktales have taught us, it's to be careful of houses in the middle of the woods. But the boys had no choice. Slowly approaching the house, Catafo knocked on the door, and an old woman answered.
What you want?
She asked. Catafo explained the predicament, asking the woman for something to eat and a place to sleep. But the woman shook her head.
I'm sorry, but you gotta leave. My old man, he ain't right. He's a devil, see, and if he sees you, he'll eat you whole.
Catafo pleaded with her, and the woman, moved with pity, let them in. She fed them, then put them in a warm bed under a red quilt. Beside them in the bed with the blue quilt were her own children, 3 little devils themselves, who spent every waking moment tormenting the poor woman. Not much later, the door slammed open. The devil was home. He stopped and sniffed the air.
I smell fresh meat,
he growled.
Dad's just a meat I killed yesterday.
Don't lie to me, woman.
The terrified woman confessed, telling him they were upstairs on the bed with the red quilt. The old devil grinned. and went to prepare his pots and sharpen his axe. A while later, he crept into the room. Now the devil had terrible eyesight, so all he could really see were the colors of the quilts on the beds. He walked up to the bed with the red quilt, raised his axe, and then... When the dust had settled, he pulled back the quilt, and what he saw made his blood turn cold, because it wasn't Catafo and his brothers under there, but the devil's own children. Catafo had been awake and had heard when the devil arrived. He woke his brothers, fluffed up the pillows to look like sleeping heads, and just before they left, he turned and switched the quilts. Red to the devil children, blue to the empty bed. Then the boys jumped out the window and fled into the woods. The enraged devil jumped on his mule and gave chase. As Catafo and his brothers ran, they looked back and saw the figure of the devil steadily catching up to them. Catafo knew they wouldn't outrun him, so he told his brothers to quickly climb up a tree. They managed to climb just as the devil rode up beneath them, grinning a wicked grin.
Would you look at that? A boy tree. Just look at them little boys ready to drop like a couple of ripe figs.
He pulled out a large sack, his magic bag, and all he wanted them to do was look down. Catafo warned his brothers to look to the sky, and so they did, fixing their eyes on the moon and the stars. But the devil had time today. He lit a fire beneath them and started singing and dancing around the flames.
Come down, little boys, come down. Come down, little boys, come down.
The flames flickered and the shadows danced, and the youngest, he looked. He was immediately sucked into the bag, swallowed whole. The devil laughed a horrible laugh, singing louder and dancing faster.
Come down, little boys, come down. Come down, little boys, come down.
The middle brother tried to hold on, but he couldn't resist. He looked down. Also gone. Now Catafo was all alone. The devil laughed and sang even louder.
Come down, little boy, come down. Come down, little boy, come down. It's just you now, come down. Come down, little boy, come down.
But Catafo refused. No matter what the devil did, he would not look down. Hours passed, and finally the devil snarled.
All right, I'ma come up myself.
Catafo laughed.
Well, come on then, you old devil. Catch me if you can.
The devil started to climb. Catafo could feel him getting closer and closer. But just as he was about to grab Catafo, the boy closed his eyes and jumped. He spun through the air, past the devil, and landed on his feet like a cat. He grabbed the bag, freed his brothers, and then looked up grinning.
Well, looks like we got your bag now, Monsieur Diablo.
The devil was so blinded by rage that he forgot his own trick. He looked down. He fell right into his own sack, swallowed whole with a final terrible gulp. The boys wasted no time. They each grabbed a stick and beat the bag till that old devil was flat as a pancake. The devil was dead. When it was all done, they returned to the old woman. Catafo told her all they had done, and she sighed. She was glad to be rid of her devil husband and her devil children, but she realized that as evil as they were, she would miss them. And then she looked at the boys. They had no one who wanted them, and she had no one to look after. So she said,
Why don't y'all stay with me and I'll take care of you?
and so they did. And for the first time, they had food, safety, and a place to belong. That was a dark one, wasn't it? I did think about changing the story a bit to soften some of its rougher edges, but I decided to tell it as I read it. Because the beauty of folk tales is that they do not shy away from the world's evils, but hold up a mirror to them. Despite being a child, Catafo is forced to do what he must to protect himself and his brothers. He isn't strong or magical, but he's observant and smart, outwitting his oppressors at every turn. Folktales speak universal truths, and this one is a reminder that sometimes survival comes down to keeping your head, even when fear tries to take it from you. And maybe also a warning to little children. Be careful what you become, because in folktales, wickedness has a way of coming back home. Thank you so much for listening, especially if you stayed all the way to the end of this one. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on which part of the world we should explore next. Until then, my friends, stay curious, stay kind, and keep the stories alive.